Collective, welcome. I'm Nikki, your local vegan terrorist, and we are going to do your love reading. Hello. How is everybody doing? Very tired today, but it's all good stuff. I just had a class, so I got some breath work in. Connected with my body a little bit. Maybe somebody's getting into yoga, or they're going to the gym. Maybe you're just leaving the gym. But it feels like you want to kind of get some stuff going. You could be somebody could be anticipatory. Someone could be anticipating this connection or coming forward. Or receiving an offer, right? The giver or the receiver. You're both kind of anticipating this. So maybe you both kind of know. You both sort of feel it. Maybe this weekend, I feel it coming. I feel it coming. Baby. The number 28. Wicked games. We have the devil here and the Four of Swords. So yeah, somebody's doing some breath work. Somebody's meditating. They're meditating on this. They could be sort of practicing how they're going to come forward or how they're going to bring in this offer, like rehearsing it in the mirror. Oh, I don't have my little stand, so we'll see. It's on my plant. I just got a plant recently. I wanted it so bad, and I was like, but I don't want to spend $10 on a plant. And then I bought it, and it was on the dash, and I forgot I had the max heat on, which is the defrost, and it cooked the whole side of it. Poor thing. I'm like, oh gosh. Anyway, 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, but we're learning. We're all learning, right? So somebody is coming forward. Maybe you're going to say, like, I want to learn everything about you. This is new to me. I've never done this, or it's been a long time since I've done this, since I've been in a relationship. Oh gosh, this is going to be annoying. Sorry, everybody. I'm just going to have to, adjust. I don't know where that thing went, my little stand. But we have the Queen of Cups, and this Queen of Cups looks a little bit like her eyebrows look pretty intense. It also reminds me of like the duck and the hare. Something about ducks and hares, or that Piscean perspective. Maybe there's a Pisces involved with this Queen of Cups. Of looking things like at things like the Hangman. Fixed sign energy as well with the World, because the World is like a zoom out perspective. The Tower. There's a lot of challenges here. The challenge here is going to be communication. Yeah, and that's the challenge for me teaching again, is you have to take, it's like an artist or anybody. When you're trying to convey something, when you're trying to translate something, that's the Hierophant, that is Taurus energy, of taking something that is felt and bringing it into the tangible, into something that is seen. DDS, what is that? That's a title. DDS, what does that stand for? It's an acronym for something. Four of Swords again, a lot of Four of Swords, and 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, somebody's getting a hold of their health. Maybe they just got distracted, or they were just working really hard on something with this 8 of Pentacles that they forgot. And maybe you've always been the one who worked extra hard in relationships. You overgave, and that depleted you to the point where you're like, oh yeah, 6 of Pentacles, yes, that you forgot. Oh, we're supposed to give and receive. Something about giving and receiving. Giving and receiving. The Tower here looks like an explosion. It's like volcano erupting. Somebody could be celibate for a long time with that Tower. That's also the beautiful people. To the size of your steeple, you can't see the forest above the trees, and you can't on your knees. Hi, what are you? Something beautiful or something. Eight of Pentacles again. Something. Maybe somebody's making some sort of, they're producing something. Could be working on something with, I mean, Pentacles are health and wealth, right? So they could be turning some sort of, maybe somebody's an instructor or a personal trainer or something where they are like, I better practice what I preach. Whatever this individual is working on, this offer or whatever, it's like they know that they need to be, because when I said communication is a challenge here, I was thinking communication with self first. This person could be really working on their communication with self, which yoga is a conversation with the body, right? That's what breath work does. It taps us back into the body. It reminds us of stagnant spots in the body, and then it also encourages those stagnant spots to move. And once you start moving them, they get sore. When you start moving them, you're like, oh, that's uncomfortable. So it is kind of new, coming to something new. Wow, I look like I'm hungover. I did not sleep well again, but that's okay. I just was out last night, and anything after 8 o'clock, I'm pretty much ready to go to sleep. So I was out past 8, everybody. I was out there wilding. 10 of Pentacles with the Tower. Yeah, there's something about this Tower that feels, I mean, this is something sudden and unexpected, an unexpected change. Could be in that perspective, how you view conversation, how you view relationships. You know, relationships might have been like a burden, because this is somebody in the 8 of Pentacles. The 6 of Pentacles is clarifying the 8 of Pentacles here. The 8 of Pentacles tells me that somebody's been doing things on their own for a long time. It's really challenging to allow somebody else in, to ask for help, to accept help, to receive. So that could be the feminine, not knowing how to receive with that Queen of Cups here. I'm doing everything myself. They've got like a chastity cup here with, so I get the Never Ending Story, and then I get Robin Hood Men in Tights, right? Robin, Robert, Russell, Carrie. Those are some names that are coming up as the actors. Scorpio, Aries, which Scorpio, Aries is the Tower here. This person is your Tower. But it's not a Tower that's like, oh God, here's another Tower. You've experienced Tower moments that put you on your divine path. This Tower is like welcoming you home. It's welcoming you on your divine path. And this does remind me of the Never Ending Story with those sphinxes there. It's like the gauntlet. This is the gauntlet. And goblet, yeah, the goblet of fire. Could be dealing with a fire sign masculine, but it's a lot of passion. And I think passion, maybe a feminine here has never really, I'll do it myself. Maybe no one else has done it for them. No one else has caused this explosion. So I do feel with that passion and that fiery energy, but it's in the cups, and there's a lot of pentacles here. So it's not just that. It's not just chemistry. It's compatibility, it's connection, and where we have the issue. So you don't have a problem. You guys are going to have, I don't think you're going to have any issues in the bedroom with physical intimacy. You're going to feel connected, even if you don't know why. It's that red string. It's like, I'm tethered to this person. I don't know why. But it's not in the sense where you're holding on to somebody that's running away. You're both like, we just want to be in each other's space. You just don't want to be away from this person. And it's not, with the Devil trying to pop out, it feels like somebody was like, is this healthy? This doesn't feel healthy, because the communication is an issue. Communicating all of this is an issue because it's new for both of you. But you have long-standing balance, reciprocation, sharing. You know, because this is two parties that are sharing. Somebody might worry that they might be a little bit too thirsty, or it's been too long, so maybe they're questioning whether or not their judgment is sound. So there's some sort of indecision or some sort of communication-based standstill here, because that's the only thing that we don't have right now. And even the Queen of Cups, as far as allowing love in, there's a reluctance here. This Queen of Cups is like looking at this cup, but she's almost looking, it's like she designed this cup. The never-ending story. It's like they have to see the truth about a warrior or whatever if they come through. It like tests their ego. It tests their and this could be the feminine looking at the masculine's cup here, right? Because it is about a man going through this gauntlet, and the two feminine statues are there. The oracles, the Southern Oracle, they're there to judge, right? So it's like Libra, the scales of karma. They're being judged by the divine, which means that it's self-judgment, right? Because as without, so within, as above, so below, all that jazz. And all that jazz. Sagittarius energy. Somebody could be a jazz musician or like jazz. Seinfeld, the name Jerry, JS, he's a Taurus. You like jazz. Bees are maybe a sign for you. B movie. Maybe you and this person are gonna like watch silly, kind of like B-rated movies, you know, and kind of like laugh over them, or like watch these nostalgic films or whatever that are, if you were to watch them today, they might be corny to kids today because they think they're so cool. But those movies are boss, you know, Never-Ending Story. Yeah, like silly comedies, slapstick comedies, British comedies. Maybe you are into those things and you'll just kind of, that's like a pastime for you and this person. But it's this gauntlet, and somebody's closed off. I'm so happy. What is her name? Marion? Maybe the name Mary, the name Anne, Marianne. Anyway, but she's the maiden there has the chastity belt. That's why I think of that. It's like this chastity cup. Somebody's like disappointed by something they designed, right? It's like a barrier or some sort of boundary that the feminine set. Like, you're not getting any more of this cup until you come correct. Because the Two of Swords, this blockage in communication is coming right here. So the feminine is like, it's coming right here. Maybe it's walking up on you right now, feminines. Let's pull some letters and then we'll pull a clarifier. MVP, most valuable. ET, the end of alienation. It's coming home. ET, phone home. Home. Elliot, maybe the name Elliot. Elliot Smith, isn't that a artist? Hasbro. This is the blank card. But it says Hasbro 2014. So maybe you dealt with someone in 2014 that was like, Hasbro sounds like fuckboy to me. You know, like, that was so 2014. ER. Ooh. Somebody could have dealt with an illness or an injury or something. ER. But the ER is emergency. There is an urgency here. There's like a urgency. Why is there an urgency? We're going to pull from the masculine now, but just felt like I wanted to pull from that. Most valuable. You're like an alien to this person. You're like an alien, but you're like their home. So they relate to you. They mirror you. They're finally like not alone anymore. All right, so what's going on with masculines? Oh, we got the Hierophant with Taurus energy here. 3 of Cups. Yeah, sharing is caring. Somebody wants to take you out. And then we got the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords, there There is a little bit of a guard with the feminine here, but their hand is open. The feminine does want this masculine. So they want this. That's why they're looking at this cup like, where the fuck are they? You know? You said you would be here. Maybe somebody said they would be somewhere, or said that they wanted a relationship. Maybe they said something and then they kind of reneged, right? They were like, nah. But they want to bring balance. Balance is very important. They want to bring balance to this connection. Two of Pentacles. Feminines, this masculine is coming forward, and if there's any way that you can soften your guard a little bit, that does not mean relinquish your boundaries. Never do that. But if you can soften your guard a little bit, soften your guard. Queen of Wands. It's like the softest one is the Queen of Cups, and she looks the most pissed off. Queen of Swords is like, I'll hear you out. And then we have the Queen of Wands, like, they've got, their hands are full. They've got the sunflower here. Somebody could be dealing with a Leo, or someone could have, the feminine could have Leo placements that are very much activated by this connection. Maybe they're dealing with the fire aspects of a masculine, because a masculine, with all of the 3D information that they're receiving about this connection, they're not tapped into why they're connected. They don't know how to put that into words or communicate that, which means that they didn't know that they wanted something long-term compatible, and so they just weren't communicating, and they were coming all in fire. What is that? Monica, and we have been getting 7. So, but there's a part where she's talking about an ex, and she says, I win. She was like, however long, 2 years together, and I never won once. I was getting that like a feminine has never been truly pleasured. Their physical body, their emotional body, their mental body. They've never, because, you know, feminine energy needs all that. Masculines can usually get by, and that's not just males and females, that's those that are operating out of masculine energy, because masculine energy is of the 3D, it's of the tangible. So it's more about instant gratification, what feels good in the moment. We'll think about tomorrow the day after tomorrow. You know, it's like, but the feminine energy is all feelings. It's very sensual. It has to be multifaceted. That's why females are typically better at multitasking, right? Because we are of feminine energy. And yeah, it's just kind of like, there's a reason for that biologically, you know, because you're supposed to be able to like make a human being, raise a human being, and still be able to operate other things. So it's, anyway, somebody thinks like women are very incredible, right? So they've had some representations of that in their life, possibly. But yeah, it's somebody's kind of fascinated with this feminine, and I think just women in their past, they have maybe a strong mother figure, or maternal influence, some sort of an aunt or a teacher. They've this masculine feels like they really honor the feminine, and they think that this feminine is incredible, which is why they want to come in. Like, they want to do more, they want to grow up, they want to as good as it gets. Maybe that's the feminine's energy, is this as good as it gets. But then there is, and he is a Taurus, Jack Nicholson, the name Jack. I was looking at Jack because he was talking to me over here for a second. He's a Gemini, May 22nd. That could be important to you, but yeah, it's, this masculine wants to grow up, and they want to fulfill the prophecy, because they've had dreams about you. But I think that even seeing you, experiencing you in whatever way you've interacted, I think this masculine was still like, they can't be. It can't be real. Like, I couldn't have actually fabricated this person into existence. Like, I couldn't have called this in. There's no way. It's too good to be true, that whole thing. Or they're too good for me. But like in As Good As It Gets, he says, you make me want to be a better man. So they're not resting on, oh, poor me, they're better than me, I'm just not going to do anything about it. You know, I'll just go eat worms. This person is like, oh, that's a very impressive feminine, and I want to be a part of their life. I want to help them. Because as magnificent as this feminine is, as independent and as capable, as powerful as this feminine is, we don't have pentacles here. So solid commitment, loyalty, longevity, investment, compatibility was not here. At least that's how the feminine views it. 8 of Cups, yeah, the feminine walked away. Because the feminine wanted, that's why it was a Tower. This feminine walked away. Because the feminine wanted something solid. Yeah, all this passion and heat and all that's great. But you need all 4 elements. You need communication, you need compatibility, you need connection, and you need chemistry. You need all of them. Yeah, and this masculine was not providing that at first because they didn't even know that they wanted it. And the feminine was left out in the cold with the 9 of Wands there. Wounded warrior. Sad. Alone. Ace of Wands. 7 of Cups. The Fool, and the Warrior of Blades, the Knight of Swords. There's that communication. And they're bringing in that passion. It's a new passion. So maybe you're somebody who, like once the passion's dead, or once the attraction's dead, or whatever, or once you're like, okay, maybe you had some sort of physical interaction with this person, and because this part of the feminine was not, the foundation wasn't there, there was no investment, the feminine did not reveal their true sacral energy. They did not unleash their kundalini, because the Queen of Wands gives that kundalini energy. She did not receive that stability, comfort, protection, safety, security, none of that. So this could be a fixed sign feminine or an earth sign feminine, or have a lot of those placements. That's how this feminine views relationships. I want something quite traditional, because we have the Hierophant and the 10 of Pentacles here. So like, I want to grow old with somebody. I want to, like, does that even still exist? Is this as good as it gets? And the masculine wants to be a better person. I want to be a better man, is what he says. Helen Hunt. I don't know. The Hunt. They're coming. They're finding a way to come to you. You may have blocked them, or you may just not be as available to them. And it's like, see how they're hiding behind this horse? It's like they're finding a way. So it's a Page of Swords, but they're coming with action. And then it's like the 3 birds there. 3 little birds sat on my window, and they told me I don't need to worry. I always thought, and this is again the end of May, I always thought she said, summer came last end of May, so sweet. Little girls double dutch on the car. But she says, summer came like cinnamon. So it is like a warm, it came warm. But I always thought she said, summer came last end of May. And I don't know, because I'm a May baby. Maybe that's what I hear. But with that May 22nd, there could be something around the cusp of May, or the end of May, that is important to this connection. The 7 of Cups is, the Fool. It's like, there's nobody else, because they're sitting here and somebody is worried that the other has options. 3 of Cups, I think the feminine's just carrying on, hanging out with friends. they're living their life. They're still continuing to work on themselves. They've got the Eight of Pentacles here as well. It's funny because I'm getting like past energy on both sides of this central energy versus a past, present, future. So this is very past life, soulmate, mirroring each other's shadows. It's going to trigger you to be like, she kind of hates him in that movie. Helen Hunt really, like, she can't stand him. I mean, she thinks he's handsome because he's Jack Nicholson. She was like, I thought you were handsome. And then you spoke. Something about, yeah, the communication, this masculine just sucked at communication. They just said the wrong things. They might have said hurtful things and been like, that's not what I meant, you know, because he does say like, oh, you look, I would have guessed you're 50 or something. And she's like, well, thanks. But she was up all night with her sick son. And what he was really concerned, like, what happened? Why did you sleep that well? And she's like, oh, thanks. You know, like, whoa, calm down. Somebody was kind of resigned to the idea. Somebody could have just left a job, but they resigned. They stopped investing in something. But they had resigned to the idea that they would never find this love. That what their idea was too good to be true, especially in this world today. If you have traditional views of a relationship, monogamy, or any of that, like, where are y'all finding that, right? It's just, it's very, you are the minority in the dating world. It's just, yet it's ironic because it's not what people are doing, but every single person that I talk to is like dealing with the same thing. They all want the same things, but they're not finding it. So it is interesting, you know, sociologically speaking, you know, that we're all just like playing pretend. Nobody really seems to want that. They know it's not fulfilling, but it's like everyone's settling for it because that seems to be what society tells us, what mainstream media, whatever, tells us is what we should accept. So few people are willing to invest or commit. 4 shells. We have Cancer energy here with Sebastian. We have the 4. A lot of redheads, Capricorn possibly. Someone could be wearing like purple jewelry. She's got her little shells here. So she's got 3 shells here and 4 there, which would be like the 4 of Cups. So that, yeah, that's somebody who's kind of a miser with their love. Somebody's like, oh, I'm not giving that away. They're just sort of, oh, I'm seeing corn, gold. Dig, 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 diggity dig. See, and 4s are that contemplative energy, that hermit of going in, bringing balance. Somebody's bringing balance, rolling. See, that gives me like the Chariot, number 15, Princess and the Frog. Yeah, that tells me it's they're best friends, and she meets her love of her life, right? She meets the prince at this ball, but it's not until she's kind of stepping away from the ball. Somebody could be kind of like meeting their person in the corner of an event or something. She's not really a social person. She's a workaholic, more Capricorn energy and Sagittarius energy. You know, workaholics of the zodiac. And so it's like, I'm working hard and playing hard. This feminine is really just meeting up with friends, trying to like get social, but they're really not about it. But maybe going out to some sort of, maybe you're going to be invited, feminines, you're going to be invited out to something, and that's where you're going to meet your person. And it's going to be unexpected. It's going to be probably the person that you least expect, because you said And if you've seen Princess and the Frog, she goes, I would never, ever, 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 and she's little, kiss a frog. You know, she's like, ew. And then guess what? She becomes one. So, and that is her person, you know. It's her frog. Kissing a lot of frogs. So yeah, you may have had a past experience where this person was like, they acted like a frog. Not to insult frogs, because frogs are cool, but, you know, they acted like a real butt. And then, but, like, they're coming in, and I get this, like, warts and all, right? Like, somebody's revealing all of their ugly bits or what they think is ugly, and you're going to be like, look, I'm a frog, too. We're both frogs at our core, you know? The truth of you. And see, dig, diggity dig from Pocahontas, digging for gold. You had to dig, and then in Prince and the Frog, you gotta dig a little deeper. Something about somebody's like excavating their soul. Somebody could be like digging holes in the ground, you know, literally doing something, installing something. I think a hummingbird just went by the windshield there. I don't know. Could have been a leaf. It was quick, whatever it was. And that's in Pocahontas, Flick, the hummingbird. So something about Pocahontas, the name John Smith. Smith also reminds me of like an FBI agent. It's like that very common name for like a secret agent, which is Leo energy. Somebody's like investigating and finding things out. That's that Page of Swords. And one in the target. Ooh. And that's Sagittarius energy with the target there. And then we have the Chariot again with Cancer energy with that horse. And another red-haired feminine here. And then we've got a dark-haired feminine. We've got blue eyes, green eyes, and brown eyes. So could be a very hairy masculine. We've got the horse hair. So someone could have like, this masculine could have like nice hair. Because we got two horses here. Did you ever use that mane and tail shampoo? I remember my sisters and I, we used it growing up so we could have long, you know, long, luscious hair. But I always had a bob. I always had short hair. But anyway, I don't know, there's something. For somebody there, we have the apples and the feathers. Apples and feathers. That feels very decadent, air energy, and that I just watched Man in the Iron Mask where D'Artagnan cuts the rotten tomato or apple. I think he cuts an apple and then he stabs a tomato and bites into it or whatever. Anyway, so more red, a lot of red energy here with the hair, with the clothing, with the crab, with the apples. All like this root chakra stuff, and the red bullseye here. Seeing red. And also, like, when we see red, we're not thinking. This person's done thinking with that Knight of Swords. This masculine's done thinking about it. They've probably thought about it for a long time. All their time is spent thinking about it, overanalyzing, overthinking. And now they're just like coming in with that, like a fool on a chariot. They're like, here I come. Like they're finally releasing the arrow at their target. So somebody, it's a point. It's very, with the feather and with the arrow, it's very direct. Somebody's just coming in. They're going to say it. They're going to say the thing. What thing are they going to say? Let's see from the masculine side real quick. 33. Justice. Balance. I want to make this right. That's what they're going to say. Can you give me a chance to fix this? 6 of Pentacles. Somebody was breadcrumbing before. Now they want to reciprocate. They're apologizing for withholding. Their love. Knight of Cups. They're apologizing for withholding their love because they feel it. That's all they can fucking think about. 3 of Cups. They want to be a part of your celebration. They want to. And another thing is, it's like they also, maybe they know or they just assume that you've told your friends. So you might be around other people and this person might do something a little bit public, because we're going from that sort of wallflower aspect in the corner, meeting in the corner with no one around. I feel like this person maybe will proclaim something or come up to you in front of other people. They really want the people around you to know, and it may have started as like, oh, I don't want people to think about me in a bad way, but they want to make your friends, your family, your loved ones, your ancestors, they want to make them proud as well. Oh, this is somebody who really wants, this masculine was probably never told by anybody that they were proud of them. They want to make somebody proud. They want to make this feminine proud. They want to be the best version of themselves. And we got the Hierophant, the Chariot, and the Sun with the feminine. We also have the Hermit and the Five of Wands, which feels like blocked communication. Somebody is blocked, however you communicate, probably online, through text message, maybe in the 5D, maybe the feminine was like, did some kind of work. Could have had like a physical burn ceremony, or they like, released, they think they did anyway. Because your twin flame, it feels more like it's that red string. You cannot get away from this person as much as you try. But when you choose yourself, you encourage them. When you set a boundary, you encourage them to rise up. You are the only person who can do that. You can't do it for them and you can't change them, but you're the only person who's going, your twin flame is the only person that has that kind of pull. They're the only ones with that MVP, like they're the most valuable person. So they've got sort of VIP status and influence over you. And not through trying to control them, but just by choosing yourself, just by saying, I want better. You give your twin flame the opportunity, that tower that says, well, now's the time to change. If you've always wanted to make this change anyway. It's like very, very obvious or simple examples, like someone who always wanted to quit smoking. Oh, yeah. Yes. It's like someone who wanted to quit smoking, and then they get with someone who doesn't want to date a smoker. Like they always wanted to do it anyway. So it's like the encouragement. So they're not changing for you, they're changing for themselves, but it's because they didn't ever have a reason to change that was greater than them, and this love is that reason. We never ate a meal which did not begin with a hush of thanksgiving. We never began a day without a family gathering at which mother read a chapter of the Bible, after which there would follow a weighty silence. I have often regretted my speech, never my silence. I feel like it's opposite here. Because I feel like the masculine is coming in and they're like, I don't care. I'm never going to get it right. I'll never know how my feminine will react. I just have to say it. I think that they do regret their silence. So that's just how I'm getting that. Because this feels like a very happy or, balanced family. And I don't think that the masculine had that balanced family. I don't think that they sat around the table and had family dinners and said thanks and prayer. I don't think that happened. So I think that switched things. That's why I'm getting the flip there. But I hope there was something in here for you, collective. And until next time, I wish you well.